Let's go straight to our guest, Alexandre Vautravers, Scientific Director at the Centre for Military History and Perspective in Geneva. Alexandre is a former battalion commander experienced in peace support operations, which, Alexandre, at some point, one might perhaps expect to see at some resolution of this conflict, peacekeepers perhaps deployed on Ukrainian soil. But I also suspect that is something that Vladimir Putin would be dead set against.
Yes, this has already been stated. It is the official Russian position that no European troops, peacekeepers, should be deployed in Ukraine. And as you have mentioned, this has happened before in 2014, 2015. At the time of the Crimea incidents, there were eventually international peacekeepers, OSCE peacekeepers that were present.
In terms of what is happening right now, we're 2 weeks down the line from that peace summit, if you call it, between Trump and Putin. And of course, famously, no Ukrainian presence in the room, which some people just don't understand. But those two men, of course, you've got to just basically let them get on with it to a certain degree, I suppose, thinking that there may be some kind of development. The only development there seems to have been, Alexandre, is more bombing and more death in Ukraine. So clearly, what is Putin playing at right now? What do you think his game plan is?
Presumably gaining time, because at the moment these negotiations were taking place in Alaska, there was a very strong, a very potent Russian ground assault that was taking place, which eventually resulted in territorial gains. So I think we have this very idealized vision of politics on one side, diplomacy on one side, words on one side, and military on the other. We should simply know that in the Russian military doctrine, politics, diplomacy, words, information is part of warfare. It is one of the lines of operation of this special military operations.
There is going to be a get-together between the Chinese leaders, North Korean leaders. Putin will be going there as well. No Western leaders will be present. And of course, on the other side of the equation, Trump, Witkoff, thinking there's going to be some kind of development. Alexandre, do you think that Trump and Witkoff are genuinely looking to resolve this war, or do you think they're looking beyond that as what they can get out of it financially, their business, their investments, those kind of things?
I hear a lot of criticism about Trump decisions and policies, but at the same time, what he has managed to produce is some movement in the lines, because all of these countries that you have mentioned, which are directly or indirectly supporting Russia's war effort in Ukraine, for example, by making weapons available to Russia or specific components that cannot be produced in Russia, or even buying its petroleum, its oil production. All of this is creating a situation of tremendous economic tensions and tariffs. And so, yes, the lines will probably need to move on this respect.
So the game plan from Putin's perspective, if I understand it, is to basically keep pressing forward, and then at some point he may have captured the land that he feels should be his at some point. Of course, going back to February the 24th, 2022, his plan was to take Ukraine in 3 days and assassinate Vladimir Zelensky, wasn't it? So he's clearly failed on that score.
Failed if we look at the original objectives of this special military operation, and these objectives have changed in time, and also the tactics, the Russian main efforts have changed. So we are now in a situation of attritional warfare. The pictures that you are showing right now clearly demonstrates this. We are talking about between 400 and 500 flying bombs, missiles of various types that are being fired on Ukraine, and this fire is being concentrated on densely populated areas. To give you just a scale, because this number 500 doesn't tell us very much, this is twice as many weapons as has been fired on the very first day, the surprise attack on the 22nd of February 2022. This is twice as much as the aim of Ukraine to hit back, to strike back with about 200 such weapons, drones or missiles, being fired into Russia every day. And 500 weapons. This is all of the weapons that have been fired by the Islamic Republic of Iran on Israel during the 12 days of military campaign that we have witnessed a few weeks ago.
Indeed, these are remarkable figures you're coming out with. It really does give us an interesting perspective. Alexandre, we're going to have, or we have right now, sorry, Emmanuel Macron and Friedrich Merz, French president, German chancellor, meeting in Brégançon in the south of France, the French president's summer residence. What will they be thinking of, do you think? Clearly, what they decide, how they approach what happens next for Ukraine will be vital.
Europe needs a plan. It needs more than a plan. It also needs a structure, a governance structure that allows to make very deliberate, politically strategic decisions with regards to war and peace and security. And this architecture doesn't really exist in the European right now. So definitely all of this general discussion, political discussion is on the table. And at the same time, I think Emmanuel Macron has mentioned many, many times the issue of reassurance measures. In what shape or what form could these reassurance measures take? And here definitely we are seeing a lot of progress, a lot of developments taking place in Europe.
Alexandre, as ever, thank you very much for joining us here in France 24. We always appreciate your time and your insight. Alexandre Vautravers, Scientific Director at the Centre for Military History and Perspective, joining us from